You can now purchase individual audiobooks by clicking the first link in the description below. You can get all audiobooks in a podcast feed by clicking the second link in the description below. Thank you for your support. The Governance of China, Volume 3, by Xi Jinping. Audiobook Part 19. The Belt and Road Initiative. Open a path to cooperation across the Pacific. Part of the congratulatory letter to the second ministerial meeting of the Forum of China and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, January 22nd, 2018. The world is now at a stage of major development, transformation, and adjustment. All countries are interdependent and increasingly connected to each other, and humanity faces many common challenges. Although geographically distant, China and the Latin American and Caribbean states are all developing countries, pursuing the common dream of world peace, prosperity, and a better life for our peoples. The Chinese people will work with the peoples of Latin America and the Caribbean in making a greater contribution to the building of a global community of shared future. When I proposed international cooperation on the Belt and Road Initiative 4 years ago, China offered to work with all interested parties to build a new platform of global cooperation, to boost interconnectivity, and to add new drivers for common development. The initiative has received warm support from the international community, including many Latin American and Caribbean countries. In ancient times, Chinese ancestors braved the oceans and opened up the maritime Silk Road between China and Latin America. Today, as we roll out the blueprint for the Belt and Road Initiative, we strive to forge a route for cooperation across the Pacific, in order to draw closer the two lands of abundance of China and Latin America and open a new era of friendly relations. Let us sail together towards a better tomorrow for China and Latin America and a better future for humanity. Strengthen cooperation to advance the Belt and Road Initiative. Part of the speech at the opening ceremony of the 8th Ministerial Conference of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum, July 10th, 2018. Sino-Arab friendship is time-honored and strong as ever. The Chinese and Arab peoples, though far apart in distance, are close like a family. Our ancestors, merchants, and diplomatic envoys alike traveled back and forth along the overland and maritime Silk Roads. In the modern era, we fought side by side for independence and liberation. We also gave each other strong support in development, creating a splendid chapter of win-win cooperation. Past and present experiences have proved that whatever changes may take place in the world and whatever obstacles may confront us, China and Arab states have always been good partners, sharing mutual benefit, and good brothers, going through thick and thin together. To facilitate the common prosperity and progress of interested countries, China has put forward the Belt and Road Initiative. With a commitment to the principles of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, this initiative focuses on promoting policy, infrastructure, trade, financial, and people-to-people connectivity. It has attracted wide support and active participation from the Arab world and the broader international community, as important participants and co-creators of the ancient Silk Road civilization located at the juncture of the overland and maritime Silk Roads. Arab states are natural partners in Belt and Road cooperation. Belt and Road cooperation features prominently in the Arab policy paper issued by the Chinese government. The Arab League Council at the level of foreign ministers has adopted a resolution expressing the collective political will of Arab states to participate in the Belt and Road Initiative. It is expected that later during this ministerial conference, a declaration of action on China-Arab states Belt and Road cooperation will be signed. Over the past 4 years, China and Arab states have worked together to develop Belt and Road cooperation in the light of regional realities, to combine collective action with bilateral cooperation, and to promote development while upholding peace. Complementing each other's strengths and pursuing win-win results, we have delivered benefits to people both in our region and beyond. As various projects attest, a dynamic situation has been created and many fruits harvested in our Belt and Road cooperation. Also, over the past 4 years, Belt and Road cooperation has energized every dimension of Sino-Arab relations and propelled all-round Sino-Arab cooperation into a new phase. In this context, I am pleased to announce that after friendly consultation between the two sides, we have agreed to establish a Sino-Arab future-oriented strategic partnership of comprehensive cooperation and common development. This marks a new historic milestone in Sino-Arab friendship and cooperation. As we advance the Belt and Road Initiative, China stands ready to work with the Arab side to coordinate our development strategies and actions. We must strive to uphold peace and stability in the Middle East, safeguard fairness and justice, promote common development, and learn from each other as friends do. This joint commitment will help us build a community of shared future for China-Arab states and one for all of humanity. First, China and Arab states need to strengthen strategic trust. A Chinese adage has it that, quote, a just world should be pursued for the common good, end quote. Footnote 1. Book of Rights, Li Ji. End of footnote 1. The Middle East faces the urgent task of removing the barriers to peace and resolving the development conundrum. People in the region yearn for peace and development. Having formulated its Middle East policy in line with such yearnings, China is an advocate of the legitimate concerns of Arab states in the international arena and stands ready to play a bigger role for peace and stability in the region. We must stay committed to dialogue and consultation. Many intractable issues in the Middle East must be addressed by all stakeholders together. They should not and cannot be decided by one party alone. We need to uphold the principle of sovereignty and oppose division and fragmentation. We need to champion inclusive reconciliation and stand against forced compromises. We need to fight terrorism and take well-coordinated actions to improve people's lives. China is ready for more dialogue and consultation with Arab states on a wide range of topics such as development for peace, collective security, humanitarian assistance, shipping corridors, and a nuclear weapon-free zone. I hereby announce that China is setting up a special program for economic reconstruction through industrial revitalization. Under this program, a credit line of US $20 billion will be extended in accordance with commercial principles to projects that will produce good employment opportunities and positive social impact in Arab states that have reconstruction needs. China will provide an additional renminbi 60 million of assistance to the peoples of Syria, Yemen, Jordan, and Lebanon to meet their humanitarian and reconstruction needs. China will also discuss with regional countries the implementation of programs totaling renminbi 1 billion to help interested countries build up capacity for maintaining stability. Second, China and Arab states need to help each other realize dreams of rejuvenation. The Arab world is strategically located and blessed with abundant energy resources. With our strong complementarity and converging interests, China and Arab states must synergize our development strategies in pursuit of our respective dreams of rejuvenation. In this effort, we must stay focused on connectivity. China welcomes opportunities to participate in the development of ports and the construction of railway networks in Arab states, and support Arab efforts in building a logistics network connecting Central Asia with East Africa and the Indian Ocean with the Mediterranean. We need to work together to build a maritime cooperation center to boost the ocean industry, enhance our ability to provide ocean-related public services, and create a blue economy corridor. The two sides may jointly build a Belt and Road Space Information Corridor, strengthen aerospace cooperation, and enable Arab states to access China's Baidu navigation system and meteorological satellite remote sensing technology for the good of their national development. China and Arab states need to boost cooperation in the oil and gas and low-carbon energy sectors, which are the main drivers of our energy cooperation. We will continue our oil and gas plus model and intensify energy cooperation across the entire industrial chain, which includes oil and gas exploration, extraction, refinery, storage, and transportation. At the same time, given the surging global energy revolution and the boom in green and low-carbon industries, we need to work more closely on peaceful uses of nuclear energy and in the solar, wind, and hydropower sectors. These efforts will lead to an energy cooperation structure which is underpinned by oil and gas and reinforced by nuclear and clean energy sectors. Based on this structure, we can build a strategic partnership in energy sectors that delivers mutual benefits and fosters long-term friendship. Financial cooperation must go in tandem with cooperation in new and high technologies. We need to explore how best new and high technologies and financial services can facilitate our cooperation and provide short and long-term support for the Belt and Road. To this end, we must find a model that suits the needs and conditions of the Middle East. China supports the establishment of a financial platform for industrial cooperation. The platform is expected to offer access to diverse sources of funding for the development of industrial parks and provide an enabling environment for enterprises to grow in these parks through its financial support and other services. The Chinese government supports Chinese financial and securities institutions in partnering with Arab states, sovereign wealth funds, and regulatory bodies to build an international trading platform that is based in the Gulf region, serves the Middle East and North Africa, and attracts investors from around the globe. This platform can be an enabler of Belt and Road cooperation by facilitating the free flow of production factors, efficient allocation of resources, and deep integration of markets. To stimulate more exchanges and cooperation between financial institutions, China will set up a Sino-Arab Interbank Association and equip it with a credit line of US $3 billion. In relation to the medium and to long-term development plans followed by Arab states, China will pursue closer cooperation in the digital economy, artificial intelligence, new materials, biopharma, and smart cities. We need to fully implement our science and technology partnership program and build joint laboratories in key areas of mutual interest. We also need to accelerate our work on a cyber Silk Road and strive for more cooperation, consensus, and outcomes in internet infrastructure, big data, cloud computing, and e-commerce. Third, China and Arab states need to achieve win-win outcomes with a commitment to deeper reform in all areas, to continuing its fundamental policy of opening up, and to pursuing development with its doors wide open. China is expected to import over US $8 trillion of goods and make over US $750 billion of outbound investment in the next 5 years. This will bring more opportunities and real benefits to Arab states. We need to fully leverage special and concessional loans in support of industrialization in the Middle East and encourage more Chinese business involvement in the development and operation of industrial parks in Arab states to boost industrial clusters there. China looks forward to the participation of Arab states in the first China International Import Expo in Shanghai this November, and in the course of the next 5 years, China will invite all Arab states to the expo and its country pavilions for trade and investment. China will work for solid progress in its FTA negotiations with the Gulf Cooperation Council and with Palestine, and stands ready to explore with more Arab states the possibility of concluding comprehensive free trade agreements. Fourth, China and Arab states need to promote inclusiveness and mutual learning. A civilization stays vibrant through constant interactions with other civilizations. The Chinese and the Arab civilizations, sharing a long history of mutually reinforcing exchanges, have all the more reason to draw wisdom and strength from each other in this day and age. I am glad to note that the Sino-Arab Research Center on Reform and Development that I proposed is operating well as an intellectual platform for experience sharing on reform, opening up, and governance. I wish the center still greater success in providing more intellectual support to both sides. We must spread the message of peace, harmony, and truth. One way to do that is to make a continuing success of the Roundtable on Sino-Arab Inter-Civilization Dialogue and Eradication of Extremism. Efforts should be made to clear up misunderstandings through dialogue, solve disagreements through tolerance, and foster a wholesome environment in which genuine faith and good deeds prevail. We need to delve deeper into different religions for ideas of greater harmony and positivity, and interpret religious teachings in the context of progressing times. It is important that we work together to cultivate a healthy cyber culture to oppose the spread of extremist content and hate speech through the internet. To enhance mutual understanding between the Chinese and Arab people, China will do the following for Arab states in the coming 3 years. Invite 100 young leaders in innovation, 200 young scientists, and 300 science professionals to workshops in China. Invite 100 religious leaders and 600 political party leaders to China. Provide 10,000 training opportunities and send 500 medical staff to Arab states. To this end, I am glad to announce the official launch of a Sino-Arab Press Center, a Sino-Arab e-library portal, and the 4th Arab Art Festival co-hosted by the two sides in China. Ensure that Belt and Road cooperation delivers solid outcomes. Main points of the speech at the meeting marking the 5th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative. August 27th, 2018. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, was launched in response to the call for reforming the global governance system. The BRI promotes partnership in a community of shared future, shared rights, and joint responsibilities. It offers a new approach to reform and improvement of the global governance system. For BRI cooperation to deliver solid outcomes to participating countries and their peoples and contribute to the building of a global community of shared future, we need to follow the principles of extensive consultation, joint contribution, mutual benefit, and mutual learning. We need to seek the greatest common ground with countries along the Belt and Road and work together with them to strengthen mutual political trust and promote economic integration and people-to-people connectivity. And we should take one step at a time and deliver outcomes accordingly. Since its launch in the autumn of 2013, the BRI has received warm responses from more and more countries. It provides an avenue for China to participate in global cooperation. It offers China's approach to improving global economic governance and promoting global prosperity and common development. It is a pathway to building a global community of shared future. Over the past 5 years, BRI cooperation has given a substantial boost to free trade and investment in China and helped expand overall opening up from areas along coasts and major rivers to inland and border areas. As a result, we are breaking new ground through links running eastward and westward, across land and sea. China's trade in goods with its BRI partners has exceeded US $5 trillion, and China's foreign direct investment in these countries has surpassed US $60 billion. This has created over 200,000 new jobs. Our foreign investment has become a major engine driving the growth of FDI global. The world today is experiencing profound transformation and change. We should view these developments in a global and strategic context. We should seize historic opportunities while guarding against potential risks and dangers, so as to steer the right course in the face of levels of change unseen in a century. It is to further reform, opening up, and sustainable development that we have proposed the BRI, and we view it as a solid platform to build a global community of shared future. The BRI gives expression to the ancient Chinese vision of universal harmony and the Chinese nation's worldview of making friends beyond borders and seeking peace and harmony between nations. Indeed, BRI cooperation is an exemplary international venture. The BRI is about economic cooperation, but it is also designed to improve the global development model and global governance and promote sound economic globalization. We developing countries are accelerating our industrialization and urbanization in an effort to achieve economic independence and national revitalization. This process is gaining momentum. The BRI echoes the deep wish of the peoples of the world, especially in the developing nations, for peace and development. This explains their enthusiastic support for the initiative. The BRI is an initiative designed for economic cooperation, not for geopolitical or military alliance. It is an open and inclusive process that does not exclude any party. It is not designed to form an exclusive bloc or a China club. Its participation is not based on ideology, and it is certainly not a zero-sum game. Any country that wants to participate in this initiative is welcome to do so. Thanks to 5 years of hard work, the groundwork of the BRI has been laid, and it has entered a stage of all-round growth. We should build on this momentum to upgrade BRI cooperation in the next phase. We should follow the fundamental principle of pursuing steady progress and the new development philosophy. We should pool resources to launch major projects in infrastructural development and industrial cooperation and address issues confronting some key projects, such as financing, the investment environment, risk management, and safety management, so as to deliver more solid outcomes. Thanks to our efforts in the past few years, a general framework of cooperation has been put in place. It is like completing a drawing. The outline has been sketched. Now, we must fill in the fine details, and we need to do so with meticulous care. We should move forward faster with our projects, particularly those that will meet the pressing needs of people in host countries. To this end, we need to establish working mechanisms supported by targeted measures. We will make every effort to expand markets. We should establish more trading platforms, encourage competitive Chinese enterprises to invest in BRI countries, and develop cross-border e-commerce and other new forms and models of trade, and seek balanced trade. We should improve financing. We should adopt policies to strengthen financing for BRI cooperation. We should continue the internationalization of the renminbi in an orderly manner, encourage private sector investment in infrastructure and resource projects in BRI partner countries, and provide financing in foreign currencies to Chinese enterprises that operate in these countries. We should promote exchanges in the fields of education, science, technology, culture, sports, tourism, health, and archaeology, and develop aid projects under the framework of BRI cooperation to improve people's lives. We should ensure that Chinese enterprises invest and operate in a well-regulated way, and that they comply strictly with the laws and regulations of host countries and protect the environment. They should fulfill their corporate social responsibilities and become pacesetters in pursuing the BRI. We should take overseas risk prevention and management seriously. We should improve our risk prevention mechanisms and upgrade security safeguards so as to guard against security risks. We should strengthen the party's leadership over BRI-related work. local authorities, government departments, and all those involved in BRI cooperation should maintain their political commitment, think in terms of the general picture, follow the core leadership of the CPC Central Committee, and act in accordance with its requirements. They should maintain firm confidence in the path, theory, system, and culture of socialism with Chinese characteristics. We should pursue the BRI as an initiative that is important to the overall interests of the party and state. Under the guidance of the CPC Central Committee, the leading group for promoting the Belt and Road Initiative should fulfill its role as the main coordinator. It should ensure BRI-related coordination among local authorities and government departments, set priorities, formulate detailed implementation measures, and assign tasks to those involved at all levels. It should adopt follow-up and supervisory measures to ensure that all the policies and plans of the central authorities are faithfully implemented without fail. All local authorities involved should pursue the BRI in alignment with national development strategies, such as those concerning the coordinated development of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, the development of the Yangtze River Economic Belt, and the development of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area. We should boost opening up in the western and northeastern regions and encourage inland and border areas to take the lead in pursuing opening up. With these steps, we can make new advances in opening up by building connectivity both eastward and westward across land and sea. Promote high-quality Belt and Road cooperation. Part of the keynote speech at the opening ceremony of the Second Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, April 26, 2019. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, aims to enhance connectivity and results-oriented cooperation. It is about working together to meet the challenges and risks that confront humanity and delivering win-win outcomes and common development. Thanks to the efforts of all involved in this initiative, a general connectivity framework consisting of 6 corridors, 6 routes, and multiple countries and ports has been created. A large number of cooperation projects have been launched, and the decisions of the first Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, BRF, have been smoothly implemented. More than 150 countries and international organizations have signed agreements on Belt and Road cooperation with China. There is greater synergy between the BRI and the plans or cooperation initiatives of international and regional organizations such as the United Nations, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, the African Union, the European Union, and the Eurasian Economic Union, and between the BRI and the development strategies of the participating countries. From the Eurasian continent to Africa, the Americas and Oceania, Belt and Road cooperation has opened up new space for global economic growth, produced new platforms for international trade and investment, and offered new ways for improving global economic governance. Indeed, this initiative has helped improve people's lives in countries involved and created more opportunities for common prosperity. What we have achieved amply demonstrates that Belt and Road cooperation has both generated new opportunities for all participating countries and opened up new horizons for China's development and opening up. An ancient Chinese philosopher observed that, quote, "Plants with strong roots grow well, and efforts with the right focus ensure success," end quote. Footnote 1. See Note 9, page 156. End of footnote 1. Belt and Road cooperation embraces the historic trend of economic globalization, responds to the call for improving the global governance system, and addresses people's desire for a better life. As our next step, we should focus on priorities and project execution, move forward with meticulous implementation, and join together to promote high-quality Belt and Road cooperation. We need to be guided by the principles of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits. We need to act in the spirit of multilateralism, pursue cooperation through consultation, and keep all participants motivated. We intend to tap into all the strengths of all participants through bilateral, trilateral, or multilateral cooperation. As a Chinese proverb says, a tower is composed of many a grain of sand, and a river is formed of many a stream. We need to take an open, green, and clean approach. Belt and Road cooperation is not about establishing an exclusive club. It aims to promote green development. We should launch green infrastructure projects, make green investment, and provide green financing to protect the earth which we all call home. In pursuing Belt and Road cooperation, everything should be done in a transparent way, and we should have zero tolerance for corruption. The Beijing Initiative for a Clean Silk Road that has been launched is for this very purpose and manifests our strong commitment to transparency and clean governance in Belt and Road cooperation. We need to pursue high standard cooperation to improve people's lives and promote sustainable development. We will apply widely accepted rules and standards and encourage participating companies to comply with general international rules and standards in building and operating projects and in the process of procurement, project bidding, and tendering. The laws and regulations of participating countries should also be respected. We need to take a people-centered approach. Give priority to poverty alleviation and job creation, and guarantee that Belt and Road cooperation will deliver true benefits to the people of participating countries and contribute to their social and economic development. We also need to ensure the commercial and fiscal sustainability of all projects so that they will achieve the intended goals as scheduled. Connectivity is vital to Belt and Road cooperation. We need to promote a global partnership of connectivity to achieve common development and prosperity. I am confident that as we work closely together, we will transcend geographical distance and embark on a path of win-win cooperation. Infrastructure is the bedrock of connectivity. It is the lack of infrastructure that has held up the development of many countries. High quality, sustainable, resilient, affordable, inclusive, and accessible infrastructure projects can help countries fully leverage their resources, better integrate into the global supply, industrial, and value chains, and realize interconnected development. To this end, China will continue to work with other parties to build an infrastructure connectivity network, one that centers on the economic corridors such as the new Eurasian Land Bridge and is connected by major transport routes such as the China-Europe Railway Express and the new International Land-Sea Trade Corridor and information expressways, and is underpinned by major railway, port, and gas pipeline projects and underground power and telecommunications cable network. We will continue to make good use of the Belt and Road Special Lending Scheme, the Silk Road Fund, and other special investment funds. We will develop Silk Road theme bonds and support the Multilateral Cooperation Center for Development Finance in its operation. We welcome the participation of multilateral and national financial institutions in BRI investment and financing and encourage third market cooperation. With the involvement of multiple stakeholders, we can surely deliver benefits to all. The flow of goods, capital, technology, and people will power economic growth and create the broad space it needs. As a Chinese saying goes, quote, "The ceaseless inflow of rivers makes the ocean deep," end quote. Footnote 2, Sima Qian, Records of the Historian, Shi Ji, Sima Qian, circa 145 or 135 to unknown BC, was a historian and writer of the Western Han Dynasty. End of footnote 2. However, were such inflow to be cut, the ocean, however big, would eventually dry up. We need to facilitate free trade and investment, say no to protectionism, and make economic globalization more open, inclusive, balanced, and beneficial to all. To this end, we will enter into negotiations with more countries to conclude high-standard free trade agreements and strengthen cooperation in customs, taxation, and audit oversight by introducing the BRI Tax Administration Cooperation Mechanism and accelerating international collaboration on the mutual recognition of authorized economic operators. We have formulated the guiding principles on financing the development of the Belt and Road and published the Debt Sustainability Framework for participating countries of the Belt and Road Initiative to provide guidance for BRI financing cooperation. In addition, the second China International Import Expo will be held this year to provide an even bigger platform for other parties to access the Chinese market. Innovation boosts productivity. It makes companies competitive and countries strong. We need to keep pace with the fourth industrial revolution, jointly seize opportunities created by digital, networked, and smart development, explore new technologies and new forms and models of business, foster new growth drivers, and explore new development pathways, and build the digital Silk Road and the Silk Road of innovation. China will continue to implement the Belt and Road Science, Technology, and Innovation Cooperation Action Plan and will work with our partners to pursue four major initiatives, namely the Science and Technology People-to-People Exchange Initiative, the Joint Laboratory Initiative, the Science Park Cooperation Initiative, and the Technology Transfer Initiative. We will actively implement the BRI Talent Exchange Program and will, in the coming 5 years, offer 5,000 opportunities of exchange, training, and cooperative research for talented innovators from China and other BRI participating countries. We will also support companies from various countries in advancing ICT infrastructure to upgrade cyber connectivity. Imbalance in development is the greatest imbalance confronting today's world. In the context of the BRI, we must always take a development-oriented approach and see that sustainability features in the entire process of project selection, implementation, and management. We need to strengthen international development cooperation so as to create more opportunities for developing countries and help them eradicate poverty and achieve sustainable development. To this end, China and its partners have set up the Belt and Road Sustainable Cities Alliance and the BRI International Green Development Coalition, formulated the Green Investment Principles for the Belt and Road, and launched the Declaration on Accelerating the Sustainable Development Goals for Children through Inclusive Development. We have set up the BRI Environmental Big Data Platform. We will continue to implement the Green Silk Road Envoys program and work with relevant countries to jointly implement the Belt and Road South-South Cooperation Initiative on climate change. We will also expand cooperation in agriculture, health, disaster mitigation, and water resources, and we will enhance cooperation with the United Nations to narrow the gap in development. We need to build bridges for exchanges and mutual learning among cultures, expand cooperation in education, science, culture, sports, tourism, health, and archaeology, and strengthen exchanges between parliaments, political parties, NGOs, women, young people, and people with disabilities in order to facilitate multifaceted people-to-people exchanges. To this end, in the coming 5 years, we will invite 10,000 representatives of political parties, think tanks, and NGOs from BRI participating countries to visit China. We will encourage and support social organizations of BRI participating countries in jointly undertaking projects for improving people's lives. We will organize a number of environmental protection and anti-corruption training courses and expand human resources cooperation in various fields. We will continue to run the Chinese government scholarship Silk Road program and host the International Youth Forum on Creativity and Heritage along the Silk Roads and the Chinese Bridge summer camps. We will also put in place new mechanisms such as the Belt and Road Think Tanks Cooperation Committee and the Belt and Road News Alliance to draw inspiration and pool our strengths. End of audiobook part 19.